warfare. One is a stealth-based warfare. You don't know the enemy's even there until they hit you. And the other one is a shock and awe strategy. So based on how I'm equipped, would you say I am engaging in stealth warfare or going more for the shock and awe approach? The clank and clatter of heavy infantry is intimidating as all get out, especially when you look at the quiver and you realize that your arrows have no chance of penetrating the enemy's armor. Furthermore, as soon as the muskets start going off, you realize you brought a bow and arrow to a musket fight. Are you going to do well? Not if the enemy's fighting smart. One of my favorite questions a friend of mine likes to ask is he says, there are 3 men. One is equipped with a Powhatan bow and arrow. One is equipped with a Matchlock musket. One is equipped with a modern military rifle. Who's going to win the fight? Well, yeah. If all things are equal, if all the men are equally trained, then probably the man with the military rifle, but we didn't establish that. And so for the fellow who thinks outside the box, the correct answer is the best soldier. Because let's face it, U.S. Army Special Forces with a Powhatan bow and arrow. Are you frightened? Yeah. Versus somebody who doesn't know what they're doing with a modern military rifle. So in other words, using the weapons intelligently is an important part of its use. That means we got to know what this weapon can do and what it can't do. So the first thing I'm going to do, we'll load it up and fire it. Because the first shot has a really good way of letting people know that we are starting a demonstration of the Matchlock musket. Now this will be a little loud when it goes off. Now some people thinking that they're going to get away from the noise, back up between those buildings. That actually goes into the loud zone. You're looking for the quietest place when it goes off, that corner right there. Put you directly behind the direction I'm firing. Okay, here comes the loud part. Good idea to open your mouth and cup your hands over your ears. Don't stick your fingers in your ears. It's bad for your ears. Present your piece. And fire! All right, now that we got people's attention, I'm going to move up here so you can see a little better. Here's a question for you. If you were issued a Matchlock musket, like most of the Jamestown colonists, and I told you, I'm going to tell you the good news and the bad news about this weapon, which would you want to hear first? The good news or the bad news? Bad. Okay, sounds like we have a consensus. The bad news. Would you, if you were fighting with a bow and arrow, would you worry about blowing yourself up?
No.
Would you worry about blowing yourself up if you had 15 bottles of gunpowder hanging across your breastplate?
Yes. No.
A half-pound of gunpowder in your pocket, and a burning cord lit at both ends with the match cord burning at 600 to 700 degrees.
Yes.
How many of you would say, I must be careful with this weapon? I don't want to end up like Captain John Smith after all. Do you know that story?
Yes.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, John Smith's powder bag was somehow set off by a soldier's slow match. He did not enjoy the experience, but he did survive. Here's the other one. A Powhatan can shoot 12 arrows a minute. Can you shoot 12 bullets in a minute?
No.
Well, if you use buckshot, you can, but if you're using full-size bullets, no, not so much. The best you could possibly do is fire 3 shots a minute, and you're going to have to practice real long and real hard to get that good. So, if you are in command of a 15-man squadron, and you line your men up in a single line and say, "Squadron, volley fire, give fire, 15 weapons go off," and for the next 20 to 30 seconds, your soldiers make prime targets for the Powhatans. Do you want to be standing around being a target, or do you want to be a threat? So, don't have your men fire from a single line. 5 ranks deep. 3 lines of 5. And if you have just fired your weapon from the front rank, your match has come down, touched the powder in the pan. There's a lot of burning material still here, and the burning match is right there. Do not stand here in the front rank and reload. As soon as you recover your piece, take your match, put it back between your fingers, lay your weapon on your shoulder, march past your 4 friends who are in the various stages of reloading. And when you get to the 5th rank, you're going to hear the sergeant shout, "To the 4 march." The guy at the end of the road takes 2 steps forward, making a place for you to stand while you blow out your pan and grab a hold of your priming flask. Always blow out your pan because there might be something burning. And pouring gunpowder onto burning material may ruin your day. And now, shake off any loose powder, blow off any loose powder. You've just spent about 5 seconds priming your weapon. Now what you need to do is cast about your piece. But the sergeant just yelled, "To the 4 march." The man at the front has fired. He wants to be here, so cast about your piece and take 2 steps to the 4. Now you need to put powder in your weapon. And if you're using chargers like these, pop the lid off, dump the powder down the barrel. If you don't trust your chargers, mine are very worn now and I don't use them anymore. One thing you can do is make a paper cartridge. These were showed up about 1570. Weren't very popular with the Jamestown colonists, but we use them when we have to. All right, so draw forth your scouring stick, shorten your scouring stick, and lade with bullet. Now you notice that I didn't reach to my bullet bag. Nah. When you go into combat, take a handful of bullets out of your bullet bag and stick them in your mouth. That way you don't have to spit them into your hand and throw it down the barrel. Now, weapon is primed and loaded, and to the 4 march. You draw forth your scouring stick, shorten it, and put it up. Well, the weapon is primed and loaded, but now handle your piece. Take forth thy match and hold it well away from the loaded weapon and all the powder on your person. Blow off your coal. And right about now, as you're cocking your match, the front rank will fire. They will step out of the way. The sergeant will say, "To the 4 march." And here you are at the front with a loaded weapon. Were your friends doing a good job of protecting you? Well, now they're all behind you in the various stages of loading, so it's your turn to be the dangerous guy. And one more time. Open your pan, present your piece, give fire, and retire.